So we are starting this style off on nice clean hair. And right here, I am just making a part from ear to ear. So just a small disclaimer, I'm in no way, shape, or form a hairstylist. This is my first time doing box braids. I came over a YouTube video and I seen how easy it looked to do it. So I wanted to try it out on her hair. This is like 8 o'clock at night. We just starting this. But this method was so easy. I always found it difficult to learn how to grab the fake hair in my natural hair to start off the braid. But doing this way, you don't even have to worry about that. But here I'm just making her parts and I'm using the Cream of Nature Argan Oil Edge Control. With this, I am like making a preliminary part. Then I would go through the part and put the edge control and then define it. And with this hairstyle, you really want your parts to be really nice and crisp and clean. This was my first time using this edge control and it's really nice. Normally I don't put any gels or anything like that in her hair because it seems like everything that I use flakes up on her. But she had these plaits in for about a week now and haven't had any issues. So with prepping her hair for the plaits, I'm going to put edge control around her hair and I'm going to moisturize her hair. I used the pink oil moisturizer, but the light version. It was the only thing I had in the house. Like I said, this is about 8 o'clock at night when I'm starting her hair. It was just something we did on a whim. We rode past the hair beauty store and I was like, you know, come on, let's try these plaits. So that's what we did. So I'm right here. I'm just adding a little black rubber band to her hair and I'm going to repeat this all throughout her entire head. Believe it or not, my daughter is tender-headed, so these are not tight. As you can see, they are really loose. Well, not really loose, but it's loose. It's not tight. That will cause like any bumps or anything under her neck. So just, you know, be mindful when you're putting them in your hair or anybody else's hair. You don't want them too tight. So this is how it looks once I'm finished the first row. Yeah, nice and neat. So when you start your second row, you don't want to put your part directly over top of the part that you had in the previous row. You want to kind of like put it on an angle, you know, so like the second layer will fall like in between the ones that you have at the bottom, if that makes any sense. You just don't want to put your parts over top of each other from row to row. You want to make them go in an angle. So this is how it should look once you finish your first 2 rows. I have the parts, you know, like I said, on an angle from each other from row to row. So this is how her hair looks once I'm finished adding the rubber bands all throughout her hair. I wanted to make sure that I moisturize her hair because this is her first time putting fake hair in her head and I didn't want her hair to break off or anything like that. So yeah. I forgot to take a picture of the hair that I used previously to me open it, but you know, it's just the regular hair store hair and I divided each pack into about 7 sections. I only used 4 packs of hair in her head. Now, like I said, this is my first time doing braids, so they are a little rocky, but you know, with practice, I'll get it. So starting off her plait, I grabbed the section of hair and I just wrapped it around the rubber band just one time. And start plaiting. It's like that simple. I mean, this made it so easy for me to do these plaits. Y'all just don't know the struggle that I had with trying to learn how to grab the hair and the fake hair at the same time. I don't know why it was such a struggle for me. I'm pretty good when it comes down to plaiting. You can give me like, you know, a 5-year-old and some bow rats and her plaits would be so bomb. But I think that I struggled so much because the hair kept getting tangled up. So I would, spend most of my time trying to detangle the hair while plaiting, and the plait like kind of lumpy, but whatever. She don't care as long as she had her little fake hair in her head. She was just too pumped up. But I think it turned out really cute, and it's a nice protective style to wear when you don't feel like being bothered with your hair. I think it's really cute, really cute. Originally, when I started this hairstyle, I only wanted to put about 18 braids in her hair, plaits in her hair, because I've never done it before, like I said. But because her head is so small, I didn't want the braids to look too big and too heavy for her head. So I had to actually make them a little smaller. At the end, I end up doing about 31 plaits, which, like I said, was not in my plan. So here is probably a better view. You can see what I'm doing. I'm just grabbing the hair and I'm going to wrap it around the rubber band just to hide the rubber band. I'm gonna hold it in place and I'm going to continue to plait all the way down to the end of the plait. It was just that simple. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my god, I did my first plait. I was too pumped. Y'all should have saw me. Here was another thing. I don't know if I did it the correct way, but I took a piece of her hair, well, fake hair, and I just tied it around the plait and I pulled the plait through it to make the knot. Now, I don't think I was supposed to use, like a big piece of hair. You're supposed to use a little smaller piece of hair, but whatever. Like I said, it was my first time and I think it turned out nice. And it didn't unravel, so it worked for us. Next time, I would definitely try to use a smaller piece of hair when it comes down to tying the knot at the end of the plait. But, like I said, it was pretty cool. It didn't unravel, so I'm not complaining. So, of course, I continued the same method throughout her entire head, so I'm going to speed this part up. Once I was finished putting all the plaits hair and tying the knots at the end, I did not use a lighter to like define each plait because her hair went all the way down to the end of the plaits mostly. So I didn't want to, cause any damage or breakage to her real hair. So here I'm about to dip hair into a boiling hot pot of water. So please be really cautious when you're doing this. Make sure there's no little kids around, nothing you could slip on or anything like that. I found it easier for me to put the pot in the sink and like dip her hair each side one at a time into the pot so that it doesn't scald or burn her or anything like that. So I'm just dipping her hair back and forth into the hot water. Now doing this will cause the knots to, I guess, like lock. Like I said, I'm not a hairstylist. I'm just saying what I know from previous experience. But yeah, it causes the knots to lock up so they don't unravel. And I did it on each side. And there you have it, a nice, cute, protective style. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.